I had somebody tell me yesterday, somebody in the know, somebody who people know I'll put it this way, they've seen this person on TV.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
Who warned me April 8th, something very bad is going to happen in the United States.
The eclipse.
It's the eclipse,
Right.
and it is the potential for one of those electromagnetic pulses.
No, this is Y2K all over again.
This person is not even going to leave the house on April the 8th. And they said to me, you're lucky you're going to be in Japan.
Outside
I said, well,
of the
first of all,
totality zone.
Well, yeah, but how am I going to get back? If
If society collapses, you'll be trapped doing shows from Japan for the rest of your life. That's if the tsunami doesn't eat it. Did you hear the Okinawa?
Oh, yeah.
You got a 7.5 Richter scale thing in Taiwan. So that part of the world, the tectonic plates are ready to welcome you.
That's the Gallagher family travels. I mean, we're going where there's tsunamis and earthquakes.
Yep.
I mean, 9 people, horrible. 9 people killed so far in Taiwan, 7.5
every prayer
on the Richter scale, and then a tsunami warning for the mainland of Japan. I'm thinking, I'm getting out my map. I ain't real good on geography, but I'm thinking, great, that's great. Of course, storms here today in Tampa Bay. I'm worried about hail and tornadoes. The locusts are coming. I mean,
frogs dropping from the sky.
When I'm seeing Newsmax look like MSNBC,
that is weird.
The locusts, weird.
So weird.
Mark, it's profound. Now, I'm being told on X, because I posted about this a lot. You talked about it a few minutes ago. Story from Newsmax that I swear I was convinced was an MSNBC story. I thought, well, this isn't. Trump calls migrants animals on campaign, and Michigan stop. And as you said, the language of the degrading language, listen, he was talking about the killer of Lake and Riley.
Right.
I mean,
is it degrading to use harsh adjectives about him?
So Newsmax is going the route of don't even use the phrase illegal immigrant because that's degrading to the illegal immigrants. These people, now, I guarantee you I know what's going on.
What do you think?
The elites are terrified of Trump's return. That's a given. Some of them have infiltrated places like Newsmax. How else can you explain this, Mark?
This apparently posted around dinner time last night or something. And let me give everybody the exact sentence once again. Donald Trump called immigrants in the United States illegally animals and not human in a speech in Michigan on Tuesday, resorting to the degrading rhetoric he has employed time and again on the campaign trail.
Now, wait a minute. Stop. This is fascinating because the article you sent me, because you and I, like a couple of teenagers, always text each other, what you sent me doesn't contain the language you just read. Where are you reading that from?
Remember, you showed me a screenshot, and everybody's been using a screenshot. In that screenshot is one of those little bit.ly links of what the actual story is, the actual story that I sent you. Okay, I sent you the story. Read it.
You did.
And that's the first paragraph of it.
It's been edited. I'm telling you, Mark, it's not the first paragraph. I'm reading it right now. Donald Trump called. Let me read what you sent me.
You go ahead.
This is what you sent me. This is from your text, which is fascinating because I think they got in there and did some editing.
Interesting.
Donald Trump called immigrants in the United States illegally animals, quote unquote, and not humans, unquote, in a speech in Michigan on Tuesday. The Republican presidential candidate, flanked by several law enforcement officers, listed several criminal cases involving suspects in the country illegally and warned that such violence and chaos would consume America if he did not win the November 5th election. I'm telling you, they edited it.
Well, no, but what you just shared is in the next paragraph below what I just read. So are you telling me? So look at your story once again.
I am.
Where Donald Trump called immigrants in the United States illegally animals and not human in a speech in Michigan on Tuesday. Your sentence ends there and it drops right down to the Republican.
It drops right to the Republican presidential candidate.
Because mine contains a comma and then says resorting to the degrading rhetoric he has employed time and again.
That's been excised. I'm looking at your article.
Wow.
I'm looking at the article you sent me. So they're doing damage control. But here's the bottom line. Somebody wrote it.
Yeah.
Somebody posted it. Somebody at Newsmax thought it was a good idea. Now, maybe somebody went rogue. I've got friends over there, and I got somebody right now investigating. In fact, it's going all the way to the top because, believe me, Newsmax is taking a beating. Here's what he's got to be aware of something. You got to be able to trust the media that you engage with. That's why I think you and I have had such success and warmth and wonderful things that have happened over. They trust us. People trust us. They want to turn to Mark Davis. They want to turn to Mike Gallagher, and they don't want to be surprised by something come out of the speakers.
Yeah.
Now, yesterday, I held my breath because I said something that for me was very painful. They are licking their chops here in Florida. You should see the local media in Florida about the abortion 6-week ban that's going to take place May 1. And I thought, you know what? I know that the Republicans can control this. The only thing that can hurt us November 5th is the abortion issue. It's the only thing.
Only thing?
It's the only thing. It ain't going to be crime. It ain't going to be the border. The only thing that can hurt us electorally is going to be the abortion debate, because it has already hurt us, Mark. We haven't won one time at the ballot box. Not once, my friend.
Ohio,
you and I
Kansas,
are staunch.
Every time these things come up.
Alabama. The other day, the woman Democrat in Alabama. You know why? Because she campaigned on abortion rights. And I'm telling you, it is going to get us slaughtered. We're going to see 2022 all over again. Republicans in the state houses all over America have just got to sit on this until November the 6th, and we'll be. And when I knew I was going to say that, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to get slaughtered. I got to speak my heart. You got to trust me. This is how I feel. Mark, I couldn't get practically anybody to disagree with.
For those unfamiliar who maybe just stumbled across this magical, either of our magical shows, a thing of Mike for a good long while here has been, of course we're pro-life, of course we want to protect the unborn, but if we come down with a sledgehammer on that in a country that's just going yabba 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 with the overturn of Roe v. Wade, we're just getting people used to the notion of the states having control, obeying the Constitution, having control over their own abortion laws. If we come at them with a nationwide 6-week ban or just a really heavy-handed pro-lifeness, we will have morally done the right thing, but we will lose so much that you've got to ask yourself, how many lives have we saved when all those Democrats win the elections? And I think you have a pretty strong point of it.
Well, it breaks my heart because I know how many babies we're gonna lose because Republicans are saying, like Ron DeSantis, even Republicans all over America are saying, you know what, we got an opportunity to save lives here. What's going to happen is, and in Florida, it started out as a 15-week ban, and then all of a sudden they moved the goalposts and said, well, let's make it 6.
Heartbeat. Yep.
As the media was screaming last night, most women don't know they're pregnant at 6 weeks. So when they hear that imagery, and again, this is rhetoric, and I know it's propaganda, but when they hear that, we have to realize, Mark, we're going to lose electorally. The Republicans have the opportunity to say, we're going to sit on all of this. We're not advancing anything else. We're not going to put anything else before the voters. We're not going to try to fight anything in the courts. Let's wait until November. If we don't, we're not going to win. And I'm reading right here over at the Dallas Express, the head of one of the country's most accurate pollsters, the TIPP poll. It has been deemed one of, if not the most accurate poll in presidential elections. In fact, he had Biden up by 4 points, in 2020, just a half a point off the final result. And he's saying, hey, Trump's having a moment right now. Trump's ahead. Trump is winning. Trump is probably going to win, but the pollster admitted, I'm not sure what the abortion issue does to the November 2024 election. I'll tell you something, Mark. I'm sure what it does. Yeah. It kills us. It destroys us. It clobbers us.
There's an old adage, because the internal conflict in me, and you've graciously pointed that out, because I always like to speak truth with love, and I don't like to muzzle truths or fool people. However, there's an old adage that says, let everything you say be truth, but not all truths need to be spoken right now. And so what would you have candidates who are asked this on the campaign trail? I don't want them to lie. I don't want them to say, well, suddenly I'm a little more pro-choice than I was 6 months ago. Can't have that. So what would the phraseology be of the candidate that says, hey, candidate Mike Gallagher running for, whatever seat in the Senate, whatever seat in Congress. What is your thought on this pro-life wave of desire for some type of national abortion restriction?
There is a candidate who's there's an answer, and it comes from the guy who wants to be the 47th president. He's going to speak on this next week. Trump was asked about it yesterday, and I know for a fact, not for any personal inside knowledge, he has addressed this. He knows politically how tough this issue is, and he's going to address it next week. And knowing Trump, I mean, I guarantee you, he is. I believe we're going to get a very important message from him, and it's going to be it's going to assuage those who think that he wants a full.
Well, he clearly
by the way,
he clearly doesn't. Go ahead, because I mean, he criticized the heartbeat bill in Florida,
and that's going to and that's going to infuriate pro-lifers. He's going to infuriate pro-lifers. You have got to trust that his instincts are right on this. He's got to win, Mark, before he can get anything done.
He gave us the justices that overturned Roe v. Wade. He has given the states the freedom to chart their own course. You got to crawl before you walk. There's no such thing. There's nothing as strong as an idea whose time has come. The national ban is not an idea whose time has come yet. I have the patience. The abolition of slavery took a while to marinate, but we got there, and we'll get there on this too. And I have endless patience for what the president
and see, people are short-sighted on this. And let me share with the text I just got from Dallas and show you how short. Not in a bad way. I know this texter their heart is in the right place, and you almost sounded like Mark Davis 6 months ago. I think, Mark, you're adjusting a little bit, because here's what somebody just said. As conservatives, we can't kill unborn babies just to win elections. If we do, then we're just liberal Democrats. Here's the problem. You're not thinking about the long game. You're not thinking about, in other words, you're saying, let's have a momentary victory on behalf of life, which I appreciate. And I know this Dallas texter does too. All about it. Guess what? If we don't win in November, you're going to have a lot of dead babies.
How much carnage will we have if we can sit there and spike the ball and talk about how ardently and vociferously pro-life we were at every second, when all of a sudden Biden's reelected and we have Democrat majorities in the House and the Senate? How many babies have we saved then?
That's exactly right. You're just not people that they are instinctively reacting in the moment. And again, I don't want to criticize these people because they are fellow pro-lifers. I get it. I totally understand it. But you've got to think long term. If you can't say, well, we've won the battle because we're going to lose the war on the issue of life and the sanctity of life. So think long term. You got to think election. Final point. You've been talking about the VP sweepstakes. Yeah. And I'm with you. We shouldn't pick VPs based on their, as you put it, pigment or plumbing. Right. But this is probably the perfect time for a female vice presidential running mate who can message this. So if you've got a Sarah Huckabee Sanders, why not? Because it's not her womanhood that makes her great. It's her mind and her heart and her spine and her track record. If, oh, by the way, woman, yay, because you're right. There is something about that that's pretty cool. To nervous Republican women, many of whom are upset about these abortion restrictions. I hate it. I don't get it. You call yourself a conservative, but this is a woman thing. I hate to say it, but a lot of women feel strongly about this. That might be the answer, is to get a Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Again, not just that she's a woman, but as a woman, she can properly message this. It's the messaging, Mark.